By 2029, Elon Musk plans to send robots to Mars before any human sets foot there. The robots will already be building a city when the first astronauts arrive. And the most important company making that possible is one almost everyone has already written off. Tesla, SpaceX, xAI, The Boring Company, X, Neuralink. You know what they do. What almost nobody has figured out is what they are when you put them together. 6 companies, 1 system, 1 destination. These are not separate bets. They are 6 specialized components of one integrated system, each solving a specific problem that must be solved before humanity can exist on another planet. And the detail that makes it all click starts with SpaceX, and something about their timeline almost nobody is talking about. SpaceX is the only company that can move people and equipment to Mars at scale. Starship carries over 100 tons per flight and is designed to be fully reusable. That part most people know. Here is the part they don't. Earth and Mars only align for efficient travel once every 26 months. Miss that window, and you wait more than 2 years for the next one. Not days, not months, 2 years and 2 months. SpaceX is not just building a rocket, it is building to a planetary calendar with zero flexibility. Every delay compounds against a fixed astronomical schedule. Every success compounds equally. If Starship reaches reliable flight rates by 2027, the first uncrewed cargo missions could launch in the 2029 transfer window. That is not speculation. It is the current trajectory based on where the program actually is today. But here is the constraint that determines everything else. To build anything meaningful on Mars, you need dozens of successful flights per year. Elon has said eventually hundreds of Starship flights will be required just to move the equipment for a self-sustaining city. Without high flight rates, everything else stays theoretical. Which brings us to the company most people still think is just making cars. Tesla's real contribution to Mars is not transportation. It is energy and labor. Tesla's energy division deploys massive battery storage and solar at industrial scale. On Mars, where dust storms can block sunlight for months, serious energy storage is the difference between a colony that survives and one that doesn't. The bigger unlock is Optimus. You cannot send thousands of human construction workers to Mars. The life support requirements alone make it impossible. What you can send on those same Starship flights are robots. If Optimus reaches volume production by the late 2020s, the first wave of Mars construction could be done almost entirely by machines before a single human colonist arrives. Robots building habitats, robots deploying solar arrays, robots operating tunneling equipment in an atmosphere humans cannot breathe. The first humans to land on Mars may step out of their spacecraft into a base that robots already built, habitats pressurized, solar arrays deployed, tunnels dug. That is not science fiction. That is the explicit plan, and it depends entirely on whether Tesla can produce Optimus at the scale and cost it as promised. Now we reach the layer that makes everything else function. Here is the detail almost nobody covering xAI has stated clearly. The communication delay between Earth and Mars ranges from 3 minutes to 22 minutes, depending on orbital position. You cannot remotely control a robot on Mars in real time. Send a command, wait up to 22 minutes for it to arrive. Wait another 22 minutes for confirmation. A construction site cannot operate on 44-minute feedback loops. The robots have to think for themselves, completely, autonomously, without waiting for Earth. xAI is not building a chatbot. It is building an autonomous decision-making system capable of operating a construction site on another planet, diagnosing problems, adapting to unexpected conditions, executing complex tasks with no human oversight in real time. And unlike every other AI company, xAI has something none of them can buy. X, the social media platform with 600 million users generating real-time data every second. That live feed is xAI's training advantage that no competitor can replicate. That is a fundamentally different engineering challenge from anything any other AI company is attempting, and it is the reason xAI exists as a separate company rather than a division of Tesla. Starlink provides the communication backbone, software updates, data uploads, coordination between Earth and the autonomous systems on the ground. The current constellation already proves the model works at scale. XAI handles the thinking, Starlink handles the talking. Together, they are the operating system for a Mars city. This brings us to the company almost everyone has already written off. The Boring Company. On Earth, it looks like a niche play, tunnels under Las Vegas. Interesting, but hardly world-changing. On Mars, it may be the most important company in the entire system. Mars has almost no magnetic field and an extremely thin atmosphere. The surface is bombarded with radiation that would cause serious long-term health damage to humans. The solution that keeps appearing in every serious Mars habitat design: go underground. Underground habitats protect against radiation and temperature swings that reach 100 degrees between day and night. They allow larger living spaces without the structural challenges of pressurized surface domes. They are the difference between a temporary outpost and somewhere humans can actually live for years. The Boring Company's technology, fast automated tunneling at relatively low cost, directly addresses this. Combined with Optimus robots operating the machines and Tesla energy systems powering the operation, it becomes an integrated underground construction system. Most people dismiss the Boring Company because the Las Vegas loop seemed underwhelming. They were connecting the wrong dot. The right dot was always Mars, and it was hiding in plain sight the entire time. SpaceX, transport on a 26-month planetary clock. Tesla, energy storage and a robot construction workforce. XAI, autonomous decision-making across a 22-minute delay. Starlink, the information backbone linking Earth and Mars. The Boring Company, underground infrastructure that makes long-term presence viable. Different companies, one system, one destination. If Starship flight rates ramp and Optimus reaches volume production by end of decade, the first real infrastructure work on Mars begins in the early 2030s. Watch which companies execute over the next 36 months. That is what actually determines whether this happens in your lifetime. This is Gated. Subscribe. The next door opens soon.